Hello everyone, welcome to Stampin' by Hannah here on Facebook. This is my very first Facebook Live. I hope somebody chooses to join me, but I don't mind if nobody does. I'm hoping this will go over onto YouTube as well once I get things worked out and sorted. But I have some fun cards for you today. First of all, I just want to remind you about the catalogue. This autumn-winter catalogue launched last Friday, so it's been out nearly a week. I do still have some copies left. I will be going to the post office this afternoon, so if you want a copy, drop me either a Facebook message or an email, and I will pop one into the post for you this afternoon. Anybody that's ordered one in the last week, it will be going in the post this afternoon. I have a couple of emails from people going, "Where's the catalogue?" I'm really sorry. I've just been so busy that I haven't had a chance to get them in the post, but that will be happening later on. Shall we get straight on with crafting? I think we should. Let's see if I can turn this camera around. Oh, there we go. And there we are. I will try and deal with questions while I'm crafting, but I'm not promising anything. So, our first card today uses the Carols of Christmas stamp set. I am loving this stamp set so much. It is my Christmas Card Club stamp set. All the information about my Christmas Card Club is over on my blog, and I will be continuing to offer it through to probably the middle of November. If you order it now, you'll be getting all the cards and everything all in one go, but I'm going to do a bit of an update on what's happening with that. But this is the card we're going to make today. How cute is that? I love this. I love these foil snowflakes. They're absolutely beautiful. So, I have not prepped. This morning has been a little bit crazy. I was supposed to have my car collected by the dealership at 9 o'clock. They came at 11:05. So this would have been, we would have been alright. Everything would have gone live at 10. But because car dealerships are not, it's not the most reliable people in the world, I've ended up with my Facebook Live that should have been at 10 o'clock at 11:15. So I'm not organised at all. I should have been, you'd think, an hour and a quarter longer than I needed to be. I should have been organised, but no, not at all. So I've got my stamp on my block. I use mainly clear mount stamps, and I don't tend to put the stickers on, more because I'm lazy than anything else. And I'm going to stamp this in basic black. Now this piece of cardstock, I cut everything in centimetres. This piece of cardstock measures, I think it's 6 by 7.5 centimetres, and that stamps beautifully on there. I have then got all my goodie bits. Here we go. So I've got a card base that is Berry Burst. I love this colour, and I'm not a big red and green Christmas sort of person, so black and pink is much more festive for me. Much happier with that. This is the Merry Music Special Designer Series paper, and it's stunning. But it's thin. It's not like our standard weight Designer Series paper. It's thin, and it's really beautiful. So that is cut 0.5 centimetre shorter and narrower than my card base. So all of my card bases are half a sheet of A4. So I've cut a sheet of A4 that way, and I've scored it at 10.5. So this piece is then 14.3 by 10 centimetres. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this corner down over like that first, just for a little bit of interest. And then I'm going to pop some fast views on the back. I love fast views, it's my absolute favourite. And then I will pop that on the front of there. There we go. Oh, I've managed to hit my first viewer. Hello, whoever you are. I have no idea. Say hello. Oh, and she's gone again, whoever that was. Oh dear. It's going to be a slow one, I think. So I've mounted that one up there like that. And then I've got some black baker's twine, and I'm going to attempt to tie a bow on camera. Now this doesn't usually go very well, but we will try. I am a bit bow challenged. I wish I could tell you exactly how to do it. I have a video that I plan all my YouTube videos. If you've not checked out my YouTube channel, please go over to my blog, and it's linked from there. But if you search Stampin' by Hannah on YouTube, I should come up. I plan all my videos way in advance, and I've got a list of how-to videos that I want to post. I post how-to videos on a Saturday, and I love doing them. They're so much fun. But I do have one video that I have an idea for that's called How to Tie a Pretty Bow, and I need to work out how to do it before I can film the video because, as you can see, yeah, pretty wonky bows I can do. I'll do that, but a pretty bow is slightly beyond me. So we've nearly done our first card. Before I stick everything down, you can see the difference between this one and this one. I hope in that I've sort of roughed the edges up of this one a little bit, just to add a little bit of interest. I'm going to keep this one flat. So this is that foil snowflake, and I've literally just cut it in half. So I've got 2 cards out of 1 snowflake. I'm going to pop a little bit of fast fuse on there, just to add my snowflake, and then I'm going to pop up my sentiment with dimensionals wherever I've put them. I'm a little bit organised. I've not got everything in its usual drawer, but no, dear, oh dear, oh dear. So do let me know if you would like me to do more Facebook Live videos. This is my first one. I'm hoping to get one a fortnight. I've looked ahead at my work schedule, and because things kind of have to fit in around work, and the next one I'm going to do hopefully will be on the 21st of September, fingers crossed. So how pretty is that? I think that's beautiful. I love that. Oh, and then I've got very easily amused. So just some of the metallic enamel shapes, and I'm going to put the stars. I've got 3 stars just to finish the card off. A trio of embellishments always makes a card look finished to me. I don't know why I'm going to stuff myself with it. There we go. Oh, where was it gone? Ooh. There we are. So that is our first card. Isn't that so pretty? And I do really love the Carols of Christmas stamp set. And there's loads of things you can do with it. I have made somewhere around 50 different cards using it so far, because my Christmas card club is 16 different card designs. So I've done loads of card designs for that, and then I've ended up making just loads and loads and loads of cards with it, and it's just pretty, really pretty. So that is our first card. I'm going to tidy that one away, and then we'll get the next one. So grab the colour combination out first, because does that say autumn to you or what? I thought that was just, I love that. 2 different colours of yellow. So we've got Pear Pizzazz, Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie and Early Espresso for some autumn. And if you've looked at the catalogue, you might have guessed what the stamp set we're going to use is. So I've prepped everything's kind of piled up in a heap. So this is Painted Harvest. And I absolutely adore this stamp set. It's beautiful. It features 2-step stamping. So you have these 2 leaves that match, and you stamp this one first and this one over the top for a detailed effect. Same with the sunflower and same with these leaves here. But it also comes in a bundle with the leaf punch, which I absolutely love. I think it's just so handy. So let's get to the card. This is the card that we're going to make. I've got all my bits all pre-cut in cello bags because that's how I organise myself. And so that is the card, and it's really simple but looks really effective. So let's get everything out and organised, because sometimes when I'm doing YouTube videos, I have everything prepped and organised and ready before I start, but I couldn't with this because I needed, I only have a limited number of blocks, and I basically need every single block for every single card. We've got 3 cards today. The first one was nice and simple with just 1 block required, but not the rest of them. The rest of them are slightly more detailed. So, let's just, there, I'll put them all into shot and you'll be able to see all of those, and we're going to use them all because they're all beautiful. So, I'll pop the card up there and then we might be able to remember what we're making. So, lots of layers with this one as well. So I've got a card base that is early espresso, and this time I've cut the card long ways and scored it in half to make a tent fold card, and I'm just going to score that, burnish that on my bone folder so it sits nice and flat. If you do that, you'll find that your cards stand up beautifully. They don't splay, they stand up really well on their own. I've then got a layer of pumpkin pie and a layer of very vanilla that we're going to stamp on. And I've got a load of scraps and bits. So let's do our bit of stamping first. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper and throw everything off my shelves as usual. And our 2 different colours of yellow first. So I've got Daffodil Delight for the base of our sunflower. There are 2 layers to this sunflower. This one that is less detailed than this one that goes over the top. There is a way of lining them up, but I find that actually, as long as the centres are sort of reasonably lined up, they look really pretty, and it doesn't matter quite so much. So I'll ink that up in Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to stamp it a few times just down my card, stamping off the side of the card so it looks like I've created my own designer series paper. And I love this technique. I am a bit of a designer series paper hoarder, but not so much with cardstock. I can quite happily use cardstock all day. So if I make my own designer series paper, I get to use the cardstock but keep the actual stuff that I can just sit and stroke. So there we go. Crushed curry over the top. And as you can tell, I'm not being too fussy about how they line up, because even if they're not lined up perfectly, they still look really pretty. I love that. So, the centre of our sunflowers is pumpkin pie, and we're going to stamp this off once. So, ink that up, stamp it off onto our scrap paper, and then in the centre of each one, like that. And then we're going to finish our homemade designer series paper off with a stamp that I've left in the case, of course. This might be my favourite stamp in the whole set, but it's tiny. Little stamp. It's just 5 little dots that just add detail. And I'm sure they're supposed to go somewhere in the sunflower, but I just like to randomly stamp them all over just to create that kind of background effect, like that. Isn't that lovely? Thought that was fab. I've got a strip of very vanilla cardstock that is 1 inch wide by however length it is, it doesn't matter, that I'm going to pop the sentiment on. And this sentiment says, "I'm thankful for you." And I'm sure this stamp set is probably designed for Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving holiday, but I think it makes a nice, just general thanks stamp. Nice thank you cards. So while we're stamping, I need that Purpose ink pad back again, just to stamp our leaves. So like I said before, we have a kind of background leaf and a more detailed image. So we're going to stamp the background one first, and I'm going to stamp it off and then stamp it onto my cardstock, and I'll do the same again. And then with the more detailed one, we'll line it up over the top and we'll stamp that in full strength. like that. Isn't that so pretty? Isn't that lovely? So that's all our stamping. Move those blocks out of the way. Close all my ink pads up before I put my elbow in them and make an absolute mess. And then I've got the leaf punch. Our punches are lovely, big and heavy, and if you turn them over you'll find they open by pushing that button, and then they open lovely, but they fall flat for storage, which is handy. I keep all of my punches in a drawer. They need a better home really. So the punch and the stamp line up lovely, just like that. And I'm going to punch another leaf out of this scrap of vellum. I am a bit vellum obsessed at the moment. I made a card a few months ago for my sister-in-law's birthday that had vellum, like a vellum layer over the front, and I am now slightly obsessed. The vellum is now on everything. I can't help myself. So before we assemble our card, I've got another punch, which is the triple banner punch. I love this one. And we're just going to banner the ends of our sentiment, and we're going to do that by turning it upside down and inserting it into the punch, and then pulling it all the way through. I will know that I've got to the sentiment when I can see it. I always use my punches upside down, and this one's great because it's got grooves in it for an inch and a half and 2 inches, so as long as it's in that groove I know that it's even, and we get a perfect banner end, which is lovely. So let's get this assembled together. So fast fuse again. I do tend to use fast fuse, it's my favourite adhesive. I know that there's a little bit of a knack to it, and I probably should pop a how-to video up about exactly how to do it, because it can be a little bit tricky, but I'm more of a fast fuse girl than a snail one. I just don't want... the thought of my cards falling apart when they get to their destination makes me slightly horrified. So, if you like the cards that we're making today and you want them for yourself, you can either buy all the goodies to make them at home from my website, and the link is in the description because I popped the description up before the video went live. There is a hostess code there as well, so if you use that hostess code you will get something from me in the post after the order closes. I'm going to close it on Sunday, on the 10th, probably quite late in the evening because I am at a Stampin' Up event on Sunday, which is exciting but slightly nerve-wracking, because it's a team training event that I've been asked to present at. It just makes me... I'm sure it'll be fine, but it's just that first time of doing it's a little bit nerve-wracking. So if you use that hostess code when you put your order in, I will add something fun into the post for you sometime, probably the following week, because I'll have to add it to the order. So we are going to... I've got this is burlap ribbon. It's so pretty. So I'll just have a little bit of that and just take the end off. I'm going to pop some fast fuse onto the card front and add some loops of copper trim. What's it called? Copper thread. That's the word. My brain is starting to go to mush. It's been a long morning waiting for that blooming car dealership bloke to come and collect the damn car. It's such an ongoing... Oh, it's driving me nuts. Absolutely nuts. So, loops of copper trim thread on there. And I just stick all the ends back into that fast fuse. And I'm going to use the same fast fuse to stick that burlap ribbon on. Push it down. It's a bit tricky to stick on sometimes, but it will go. And then with these leaves... If you could either do this first, or I tend to do it after, is I pull that burlap ribbon back up and then stick my leaves on to that same bit of fast fuse, like so. And I've got that one vellum leaf, like that. And some dimensionals onto the back of our sentiment, and that will be our second card made. Like speedy card making today, and that piece of burlap isn't quite long enough, but I'm going to make it work. There we go. So it's slightly different from the other one, but that's absolutely fine. They're handmade cards after all. How they should all be different. If they were, if they all looked the same, they wouldn't look handmade, would they? That's the way I look at it anyway. Quick slurp of a drink because I'm starting to go a little bit dry. So let's tidy up off of that one. I love that Painted Harvest stamp set. It's so pretty. I do have a class available with that stamp set out at the moment. All the details for that are over on my blog. As with everything else, my blog is my absolute hub. Everything that I do goes on that blog. So if you see something of mine on Pinterest, it will be over on my blog. If you see something on YouTube, it will likely be on my blog as well, although I do struggle sometimes to get Saturday videos over onto my blog, but that is going to change. I'm going to endeavour to be better at doing that. So, cleared away that one, and then we have our final card. I love this card. This was one of those cards that I made I was just playing around with the stamp set one afternoon, and this is what I came up with. So let's show you the stamp set first. This is Good Tidings. Now if you have a catalogue, if you've received a catalogue from me, you'll have seen this stamp set already, because the card that I sent you used the really big holly. This is another two-step stamp set, and this is the card that we're going to do today. Isn't that so pretty? It's another one of those kind of make your own designer series paper type cards, and I'm going to change the colour combination up a little bit. So this one uses Tranquil Tide, Early Espresso, Old Olive, Fresh Fig and Rich Raspberry, and it's pretty, but I just wanted something a little bit different. So the colour combination I've got today is Flirty Flamingo, Powder Pink, Old Olive, Lemon Lime Twist and Crumb Cake. We'll see how well it goes. I'm not promising it's going to be as gorgeous as that. I love the rich colour of that. This card is going to be on my blog. I've already blogged it. It goes live at some point next week. I do tend to try and work ahead. Hello, Suzanne. Are you still there, or have you disappeared again? Nice to see somebody saying hello. It's been quiet this morning, but I think that's probably because I am way later than I was supposed to be. So let's get these onto these blocks. We are using the smaller holly for this one. I haven't got enough blocks. There we go. And the sentiment. Right. The other thing I have used for this card is the layering circles framelit dies. I love these. I use them all the time, and I've already cut a circle and the matching scallop circle ready for the sentiment to go on. I'm really glad that I've provided somebody with some respite from cleaning today, Suzanne, because I probably should be cleaning my house as well, but it's not happening. Crafting instead. So get that piece of scrap paper back out again, because we're going to stamp off as well. So leaves first, and there is one kind of backgroundy stamp and one slightly more detailed one. So we're going to do the background one first. I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm going to stamp this pretty randomly across my card base, or the piece of Whisper White that will be part of my card base. And then the top layer of the leaves is Old Olive. Now these stamps look really detailed, but they do line up really, really easily. And even if they don't line up perfectly, it actually doesn't matter. They still look really pretty. So something happens to me when I do video, and suddenly I get really nasally and snotty. I think like this is probably the limit of my ability to do live video without feeling like I need to sneeze. So if I suddenly stop or run away, that's because I really need to blow my nose. That's really gross, isn't it? But that's my reality, right? So berries, and I have got, what have I got? Powder pink and flirty flamingo. And like I said, I did say this earlier, I am not a big fan of traditional Christmas colours for Christmas cards. I like unusual colour combinations, and green and pink I just think works. I'm sure other people don't think they're very festive colours, but... And I've stamped them the wrong way around, haven't I? Have I? Yeah. Oh, you gotta love live. Right, I'm gonna randomly stamp some berries. It's difficult to tell actually with these which one's the background and which one's the foreground. There we go. Oh, see, it happens to the best of us. Right. I'm going to grab the old olive back again and that circle that I've already die cut, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And the circle's just a teensy bit smaller than the sentiment, but that's absolutely fine. I think that still works. So then we just pop it all together. Move that out of the way. So, fast fuse back out again. And I have got a layer of crumb cake. So my card base is 14.8 by 10.5. Kind of card front size. So the crumb cake layer is 14.3 by 10, and the Whisper White layer is 13.8 by 9.5. And I use those kind of measurements all the time, hence why they're stuck in my head, because otherwise they really wouldn't be. So fast fuse on there. 3 dimensionals on the back of the circle, because that's all that you need. You don't need loads of dimensionals. I know people that literally just cover the back of projects with dimensionals. It's a waste. You don't need all that many. So, sentiment on there like that. And then just to quickly finish, I have some, admittedly these are the retired rhinestones, but they are still in the catalogue, just slightly different. You don't get, I can't remember if you get all 3 sizes, but you don't get these strips, which as you can see I never really used anyway, but I'm using up what I've got before I buy any more. And that is our 3rd card, and I have just dropped my Poké Tour down the side of my desk. So we have made 3 fabulous cards this afternoon, or this morning. Is it afternoon now? Probably is. I don't know what time it is. I have no idea how long I've been on here for. So that is my very first Facebook Live. Thank you ever so much for joining me. I have a couple of bits of housekeeping just before I go on my little bit of note that I've written myself. So if you are going to order after watching this video before Sunday, use this hostess code for, is it only 11:47? I can't remember what time I started, so I've been going about 35 minutes, I think. I don't know. It doesn't tell me how long I've been live for. Use the hostess code to get hopefully some free stamp sets from me, depending on how many people put an order in. That Painted Harvest class, did I mention? I think I did. I can't remember. Is live now and will close. Booking will close for that on the 15th of September, and I will put the order in for that after that. So if you place your order for that, you need to do it by email, and all the details are over on my blog. And I will be live with you again on the 21st of September, hopefully at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Don't forget to check out my blog, and I'll see you again really soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.